right, depending what grade you're in, your open-ended responses are going to look a little bit different. I'm going to talk a little bit about 6th grade. The tools are the same, so those same tools you're going to see up here on your toolbar. The pointer tool, the highlighter, the sticky note, magnifier, line guide, calculator, even though we prefer you to use your handheld calculator. Your formula sheet is the same as the formula sheet you're given. Your open-ended responses for math are going to look like this. You're going to have several parts to your questions, and you're going to have response boxes that you're going to need to type in. Okay, so you can read the question yourself. When you're ready to answer it, like in this case, how many times should she fill the container with flour? Show or explain all of your work. You're going to click in here, and then you can type your response. Okay, so you can say, to solve this problem, I would, and then you can use words to explain. If you would like to use a formula, it has a little hint here that says practice hint, use your equation builder. There's a little like equation button. It says EQ right here. It will let you build that equation. So if you are doing a fraction, you might do 2 and then the fraction bar 1. Oops. 1/3. So you can type a fraction in there. And say for this one you're going to divide, you can put your second fraction in there. And then you can tell the person what it is equal to. That way you can explain that after using words, or you can use just the equation builder. When you're ready to put your answer in there, you hit OK, and your answer populates or your equation populates in here. And then you can use the explanation part. Okay, so when it uses the equation builder, you want to click on this little EQ button, and then it'll give you a bunch of options. So as you're practicing today, I would go through and use all of these. Try to use the greater than, the less than buttons. Try to use the exponent. So if you click on this one, it gives you an option to put your base in there and also your exponent. See what that looks like when you put it in. Okay, so you're going to be trying some of these tools in the equation builder. You can actually answer these questions, most likely, if you want a little bit of practice, or you can just mess around with the tools. Okay, this next one says practice hint, use the masking tool to cover some of the information on the screen. You can, again, you don't have to do that. Just remember the masking tool is down here in options. So like if you wanted to, you could cover up part A so that you could look at part B. Again, you do not have to do that. All right, when you are finished, you're going to keep moving through to the next section. It's going to give you another open-ended response, and it gives you an option to write equations in here. For this one, it says write a decimal number and a fraction in the blanks provided below that are each equivalent to 10%. So you would put in here whatever your answer is. You can put it in a decimal form. You can go over here and put it in a fraction form. Okay, so you can build in these equations. Try and practice, just mess around with the tools to make sure that you know which ones work. They also have other ones in here that you might be like, what is this? You can always try it, type in a number, see what comes up. So look, right there, that's the tool I would use if I'm typing in a negative number. Okay, so make sure you're trying all of these out today. If you keep going, there are some that are going to ask you to shade in or to, if it's a number line or if you're making a dot plot, you're going to put the dots on. This part says shade, so you need to make sure you know how to shade in. And also use the eraser tool to take out. Again, each of these ones that have a question mark is going to tell you how to use the tool, so if you're ever confused, you can hit that question mark. And then again, down here you have the option of the equation builder. Same thing, practice with the equation builder, especially with fractions. Fractions can be a little hard to type in those boxes, so test that out. You may get one like this. This is asking you to plot points. So you might want to try to put points on the number line, see what it feels like to put them on there. Try the different ones. Try to make lines in between. If you're graphing inequalities, you're going to need to be able to use these selector tools. So try all the different ones and then try to use the eraser to take them off if you make a mistake. Remember, the eraser takes all of them off. The undo buttons just take the last thing that you did off. So it's kind of nice to practice. Try to work the problem, put them on the number line. Graphing on a coordinate grid, same thing. You may be simply graphing different points. You may need to graph between two different lines. And what does that look like? You may need to use the arrow tool. So test out some of these. There's also labeling points. Like up here it says point Q, point R. You might need to put in here a label on one of your points. So what does that look like? How do I do that? Here is the point. This is point T. Okay, so you're going to need to practice with some of those labeling tools. Here, if you are adding X's to the line plot, you might want to go in and put some X's in to see where these different numbers are. So practice with that. Again, these are equation builder. When you are getting to the end, I'm going to show you here in a minute in a different video how to just check and make sure your answers are where they need to be and how you sign out of the test. Okay?